Hi, I'm Tim Feddersen with the Franchise Division of Gaspar Insurance Services. Today I'd like to talk to you about your franchise agreement and specifically the insurance requirements. One of my favorite parts of my job is helping franchisors and franchisees alike protect their investment and protect their businesses that they've worked so hard to grow. The first place to start is general liability. General liability would cover if someone were to find you liable for something that happened on your premise or because of your product. Most policies cover $1 million per claim and $2 million aggregate, meaning they'll cover up to $1 million per suit and $2 million within a 12-month policy span. For some of our clients, we are recommending $2 million per claim and $4 million aggregate. There's really not a huge price difference, and it could be great if there was a serious injury that took place on your premises. Every business should have some sort of auto coverage. If you're a man in a van concept or your business has traditional vehicles, you absolutely want to have auto insurance as a franchise insurance requirement. We recommend $1 million of coverage and $1 million of uninsured motorist coverage to protect your team and your franchisees. If you have a brick and mortar concept that doesn't typically have vehicles, you want to make sure that you have hired and non-owned auto coverage. So, perfect example is, let's say one of your franchisees is out of town and their shift lead needs to go to the bank or go run somewhere and get supplies. We want to make sure that you're covered, and if that shift lead does get into an incident and they try to come after the franchisee or the franchisor, that we have you covered. Next, let's talk about property insurance. If you have a traditional brick and mortar concept, we want to make sure we're covering tenant improvements as well as business personal property. Two key things I want to highlight on property coverage are, one, making sure that we're using the words insured to value to make sure that we're properly covering what it would be to replace our build out. And two, I want to make sure that we're always including business interruption coverage. So if there is a fire and our location is going to be down for 6 months while they rebuild, we want to make sure that everybody's getting paid in that 6 months with business interruption coverage. Now, if you have a man in a van concept or your equipment's constantly moving, let me know and we can go a little bit deeper into inland marine coverage. We want to make sure that it's scheduled to cover your equipment regardless of whether it gets damaged or stolen or anything happens at, one, your premises, or two, at a client's home. Another very valuable asset to your franchise is your employees. The best way to cover them is with a strong workers' comp policy. I'm a big team guy, so I believe in wanting to protect your teammates. Workers' comp is going to cover if any of your employees get hurt on the job. The biggest thing you want to make sure of from a franchise agreement standpoint is that you're mandating in there, one, specific limits, or two, specifically stating that it needs to meet your state's minimum insurance requirement. Some more mature brands are requiring umbrella policies, EPLI coverage, and cyber coverage in their franchise agreements. Now, umbrella policy sits over your liability policy, and it covers additional if costs go over that $1 million that we initially talked about. So if someone falls and slips and wants to sue you for $1.5 million, your general liability policy would pick up the first $1 million, and your umbrella would pick up that next $500,000. EPLI coverage stands for Employment Practices Liability Insurance. This covers harassment, discrimination, wrongful termination, and it does include sexual harassment, which is a very hot topic right now. Lastly, we recommend cyber coverage, which is going to cover if a hacker comes in and, one, locks down your computer system, two, steals your clients' or customers' identities, or three, your system crashes for the day. We want to make sure you have coverage against as many perils as possible and as many challenges as possible. That's why we recommend those 3 additional coverages. Thank you so much for watching. I tried to make insurance as exciting as possible. I would love to do a free risk analysis for any franchise that has any questions or concerns about how to best grow and handle their risk properly. I'd love to connect with you. Thank you so much for watching.